Listen to the sound of the rain against the glass. It is a rhythm that has played for 1,000,000 years, long before the first brick was laid, long before the first timber was cut. You sit inside your walls. You look at the paint, the furniture, the softness of the rug beneath your feet. You believe this is safety. You believe this is who you are. The world tells you that a man's worth is measured by the square footage of his castle, by the height of his gates, by the comfort of his bed. You spend 30 years of your life bleeding, sweating, trading your limited time on this earth just to pay for a box to keep the wind out. And slowly, without you ever noticing, the box becomes a coffin. The walls do not protect you. They define you. They limit you. They tell you where you end and where the hostile world begins. This is the trap. This is the great lie of civilization that softens the marrow of a warrior. We speak today of the 12th precept of the Dokkodo. Be indifferent to where you live. It sounds simple, perhaps even trivial to the modern ear, but it is a blade that cuts to the root of your weakness. It is not merely about real estate. It is not about rent or mortgages. It is about the tether. It is about the heavy, rusted chain that binds your spirit to a specific coordinate on a map. When you require a specific environment to feel at peace, you are a slave to circumstance. When you need the temperature to be perfect, the chair to be ergonomic, the lighting to be soft, and the noise to be absent before you can think, before you can work, before you can exist, you have already lost the battle. You have handed your power over to the architects and the weather. Look at the modern man. He is a creature of the nest. He obsesses over his sanctuary. He builds a man cave to escape the reality of his life, filling it with distractions, with screens, with padded leather, creating a womb where he can curl up and hide from the sharpness of existence. He thinks he is a king in his castle, but he is a prisoner in a cell of his own design. He fears the leak in the roof more than he fears the leak in his own character. He fears the cracking of the foundation more than the cracking of his own resolve. He becomes a custodian of things, a janitor of wood and stone, worrying about dust and paint while his sword rusts in the scabbard of his soul. Now, cast your mind back into the mists of the Sengoku period. See the solitary figure walking through the tall grass, the mud clinging to his sandals. Miyamoto Musashi, by the time he wrote the Dokkodo, he was not sitting on a silk cushion in a palace in Edo. He was not surrounded by servants or warming his hands over a brazier of imported coal. He was an old man, alone, climbing the limestone steps to the Regando cave, the Spirit Rock Cave. It was not a home. It was a void in the side of a mountain. It was damp. The wind howled through the opening like a mourning ghost. There were no walls to hang tapestries, no floorboards to polish, just cold stone and the silence of the earth. Musashi did not seek this place because he was poor, though he owned little. He sought it because he understood that comfort is the enemy of clarity. Throughout his life, he had slept under the stars, in the ruins of burned-out temples, in the back rooms of taverns, and on the hard earth of the battlefield. He realized that if a warrior's mind is fixed on the comfort of a home, he will hesitate to leave it. If he loves his bed too much, he will not rise before the sun. If he fears the cold, he will not fight in the winter. The attachment to a place creates a defensive spirit. You begin to fight to protect your possessions, to protect your comfort, rather than fighting to protect your honor or your way. To be indifferent to where you live is to carry the dojo inside your chest. It is to realize that the structure around you is irrelevant. You could be standing in a golden palace or a burning barn. The mind must remain the same. The steel of the katana does not change its nature depending on whether it rests on a velvet rack or lies in the mud. It is steel. You must be steel. But you have made yourself into clay, molding yourself to fit the room you inhabit. When the room is small, your mind shrinks. When the room is chaotic, your mind scatters. You are a fluid taking the shape of your container, and this makes you weak. The master determines the shape of the space. The space does not determine the master. Think of the Ronin, the wave man. He drifts. He has no master, and he has no home. This is seen as a tragedy by the farmers who cling to their plots of land. But for the warrior, it is the ultimate freedom. The world is his house. The sky is his roof. The grass is his tatami. He is at home everywhere because he is at home nowhere. He is not anxious about the fire that might burn his house down because he carries his true house, his spirit, his discipline, his skill within him. Fire cannot burn it. Thieves cannot steal it. The landlord cannot evict it. You must understand the psychology of the nest. We build homes to create a sense of permanence in a world that is defined by impermanence. We are terrified of the flux, of the flow, of the fact that we are dying from the moment we are born. So we pile up bricks, we sign papers, we say, "This is mine, this will stay." It is a desperate attempt to freeze time. But Musashi knew that the way is in the flowing, not the stopping. To attach yourself to a physical location is to try to drive a stake into a flowing river. You only create turbulence. You fight the nature of reality. When you are indifferent to where you live, you become dangerous. A man who does not care if he sleeps on a feather bed or a stone floor cannot be coerced. He cannot be threatened with poverty. If you take his house, he laughs, for he knows how to sleep in the rain. If you banish him from the city, he walks into the forest with a light heart, for the trees judge no one. This indifference is a shield that no weapon can penetrate. It is the armor of the ascetic. It is the power of the monk who sits in the snow and melts it with the heat of his meditation. But you, modern man, you are soft. You complain when the Wi-Fi signal is weak. You complain when the neighbor is too loud. You complain when the mattress is too firm or too soft. These complaints are the rattling of chains. Every preference you have is a link in a shackle that binds you. You have conditioned your body to require luxury to function. You have conditioned your mind to require silence to focus. You have made yourself fragile. You are a hothouse flower that creates a specific climate to survive. Musashi was a weed, a gnarled pine on a cliff edge, thriving in the salt spray and the storm. How do we break this addiction to the nest? How do we sever the tether? It requires a brutal restructuring of your relationship with comfort. It requires a descent into the cold. You must stop viewing your home as a retreat and start viewing it merely as a logistics center. It is a place to refuel, a place to maintain your gear, a place to rest the body for the next battle. It is not a place to indulge. It is not a place to rot. Consider the layout of your life. Walk through your home tonight. Look at the things you have accumulated. Ask yourself, does this object serve my mission, or does it serve my comfort? The couch that sucks you in and holds you for hours, it is a trap. The television that dominates the room, it is an altar to passivity. The decorations that serve no purpose other than to distract the eye, they are clutter for the mind. Musashi possessed his two swords, a calligraphy brush, perhaps a small metal mirror. He traveled light because his burden was heavy enough. He carried the weight of death, the weight of the way. He did not need to carry the weight of furniture. There is a cold instruction that must be given here, a necessary friction to scrape the barnacles off your hull. If you are serious about forging a steel mind, you must prove to yourself that you are not dependent on your environment. You must undertake a fast from comfort. For the next 7 days, you will change how you inhabit your space. You will not sleep in your bed. You will sleep on the floor. Use a blanket, use a mat, but feel the hardness of the ground beneath you. Let your hips and shoulders ache. Let the cold seep up. When you wake in the night, stiff and sore, do not curse. Observe. Realize that you are still alive. Realize that the bed was a luxury, not a necessity. During these 7 days, you will strip your environment of noise. No music in the background. No television to fill the silence. If you eat in silence, staring at a blank wall. You will take cold showers, not to be masochistic, but to remind your body that it does not dictate terms to your will. If your house is warm, open the windows. Let the winter air move through the rooms. Let the outside in. Destroy the artificial bubble you have created. You must feel the edges of the world again. You must remember that you are an animal, a predator, not a domesticated pet kept in a climate-controlled cage. This practice is not about punishment. It is about liberation. When you realize you can sleep on the floor and wake up ready to fight, the fear of losing your comfort vanishes. When you realize you can work in the cold, the fear of hardship evaporates. You are reclaiming your sovereignty. You are telling the universe, I am here. The location does not matter. The conditions do not matter. I remain. Musashi wrote the Book of 5 Rings in a cave, but he could have written it in a palace or a prison cell. The wisdom did not come from the walls. It came from the void within him. He speaks of the void as the place where nothing exists, yet all things are contained. This is the ultimate indifference. To be empty of preference is to be full of potential. If you are indifferent to where you live, You can live anywhere. If you can live anywhere, you are free. The modern world tries to sell you identity through location. Live in this neighborhood, and you are successful. Buy this house, and you are a good father. Vacation in this resort, and you are happy. It is all smoke. It is all a desperate distraction from the gnawing emptiness inside. The man who needs a view of the ocean to feel calm has no ocean inside him. The man who needs a quiet room to find peace has a war raging in his skull. You must reverse this. You must calm the war inside so that you can stand in the middle of a battlefield, surrounded by screams and blood, and feel the stillness of the mountain lake. Think of the samurai leaving his village. He looks back once, perhaps, at the roof where he was born, and then he turns forward, and he never looks back again. The road is his master now. The rain is his companion. He accepts the inn with the leaky roof, just as he accepts the starry sky. He does not complain to the innkeeper. He does not write a review. He sleeps, he rises, he moves. His indifference is his strength. He saves his energy for the duel, not for the decor. You have only a finite amount of energy in this life. Every ounce of concern you spend on the thread count of your sheets, the color of your walls, or the prestige of your zip code is energy you are stealing from your purpose. You are leaking power into the inanimate objects around you. You are giving your soul to the drywall. Stop it. Call back your spirit. Pull it out of the rugs and the curtains and the lawns. Center it back inside your ribcage. The ultimate realization of this rule is the indifference to the final home, the grave. We fear death because it is the ultimate eviction. We are forced out of this body, this house of flesh and bone that we have grown so attached to. We spend our lives trying to make the house comfortable because we are terrified of the moment we have to leave it. But the warrior who practices indifference to where he lives is already practicing for death. He knows that he is not the house. He is the tenant, and the lease is short. When Musashi felt his end approaching in the cave, he did not ask to be moved to a soft bed. He did not ask to be surrounded by weeping admirers. He sat up. He straightened his spine. He faced the void. The cave was cold, but his spirit was burning. He was indifferent to the damp stone because he was already halfway out the door, ready to step into the great unknown. He died as he lived, unattached, unburdened, unafraid. You must cultivate this coldness. It is not a lack of gratitude. It is a lack of dependency. Be grateful for the roof, yes, but be ready to watch it burn and feel nothing but the heat on your face. Be ready to walk out the door with nothing but the clothes on your back and your mission in your mind. Look around you right now. Look at the room you are in. It is just geometry. It is just matter. It does not love you. It will not remember you. One day, strangers will walk through these halls. They will paint over your walls. They will throw out your furniture. They will laugh and argue and sleep where you sit now, and they will not know your name. The house belongs to time, not to you. So let go. Unclench your hands from the foundations. Let the concept of home dissolve. Home is not a place. Home is a state of mind. Home is the sharpness of your blade. Home is the discipline of your daily ritual. Home is the integrity of your word. Wherever you stand, if you stand with honor, you are at home. The storm is rising outside. I can hear the wind tearing at the trees. Most men will huddle closer to the fire, shivering, praying for the walls to hold. But you will stand up. You will walk to the window. You will look out into the darkness, into the rain, into the chaos, and you will smile. Because you know that if the walls fall, if the roof collapses, if the world strips you naked and leaves you in the mud, you will be fine. You are steel, and steel does not care where it rests, as long as it remains sharp. Walk into the cold. The world is yours. Focus on the step, not the ground. Focus on the path, not the shelter. The silence is waiting. End of transmission.